Are you in your 30s? Are you behind in your retirement savings? Folks, you can still build a nice nest egg. Let's check out some numbers. Say, for example, you've only been able to save $25,000, and say you're age 35, means have about 30 years till retirement, till you're 65. Let's say you can save $300 a month, which would be 6% of somebody making 60,000 a year. Let's say you increase that by 3% a year. Where do you think you might be in 30 years? Let's go ahead and use the numbers for the last 100 years for the S&P 500 just to see where you might be. You might be amazed. During that period, 30-year period, you will have put in $196,271, which is this row right here. And I want you to notice in the worst case scenario, in the last 100 years, this red row right here shows you what you would have. As it's recalculated, you'd have $989,000, folks. That's the worst case scenario. The median in this column for a 30-year period is 1.519. The maximum you're going to see in this row is 3.598. But again, 989,000. If you just have 25,000 and can save $300 a month, you can make it basically to a million. If you're 35 right now, in 30 years, you'll have basically a million. And folks, again, this is in the worst case scenario. Let's do a couple other things. Let's say you actually have a little bit more saved up. Say you have 40,000 saved up. Trying to encourage you, it's not as bad as you might think. Let's go ahead and update this one. Right now with 25,000, you 99% of the time you get to a million. And just that one time you wouldn't 989,000. 51% of the time you would have gotten to 1.5 million. But look at if you have $40,000, look how the numbers change, folks. 100% of the time to a million. Worst case scenario being 1.243. 77% of the time, color coded in blue, you get to 1.5 million, and 41% of the time you get to $2 million. Say you're 20, let's see, 39 years. Let's say you're 39 years old, got 26 years. Now with the same kind of numbers, you'd be up to 640,000. Again, if you have 40,000, you're age 39, you have 26 years till age 65. Let's say you've got a little bit more saved up. I'm just trying to show you it doesn't take as much as you might think. Let's say you have, well, let's just leave it at 40,000. Let's say you can save $400 a month. How about 450, which would be 9% of somebody making 60,000. So we're going to up this. We're going to leave it at 40,000 just to show you you can get to $1 million if you're age 39 or younger. Watch these numbers change, folks. Again, over that 26-year period, you would have put in 248,000, and in the worst case scenario, it's going to show in the red row here, 816,000. Let's go ahead and click on the 26. 83% of the time you get to a million given these numbers. 40,000, $450 a month, increasing that by 3% a year in just 26 years. So for example, if you're 39 or 40 years old and have 26 years till retirement, yeah, you're going to get really close to $1 million. If you're 30, say 37, 38, and you have 28 years, you're going to get to a million. Again, folks, this is in the worst case scenario. This red row is always in the worst case scenario. This color right here is the median, and this is the best case scenario. So it doesn't take as much as you might think. You may think, I only have 40,000 saved up and I'm already 39 years old. You can make it to these nice sums in these shorter periods of time. Obviously, the longer you go out here, the better the numbers are going to look. For example, if you actually have 40,000, let's go back to 40,000. And let's go and update this for the 35-year column. Somebody that's 30 years old that has 35 years has been able to save 40,000. Look at the numbers we're going to see here in just a second. It's recalculating all these for every single year from 1925 on. $40,000. Worst case scenario, $2.204 million. See what that compounding effect can do for you. See the difference between 30 and 35 years? Basically, in the worst case scenario, you're basically doubling what you have just in that 5-year period, going from the worst case scenario 1.243 up to 2.204, saving just 6% of somebody making 60,000 a year with just the 40,000. People think, oh, I don't have enough saved up. It may not take near as much as you might think. If you have some saved up and can save these kind of numbers, obviously if you can save even more, these numbers are going to be more impressive. But again, a 30-year-old, let's go here and change this one more time. Let's say you've been able to save 25,000. 25,000 which is just short of a half year's salary by the time you're age 35. Watch what happens with these numbers again. It's going to be a little bit less here because you don't have quite as much saved up. But again, if you're 30 years old and have 35 years till you retire, saving just $300 a month, and what's the worst case scenario? $1.806 million. The median is column is 2.624 million. Let me go ahead and click on the numbers here. 100% of the time you get to a million, 100% of the time you get to 1.5 million, 95% of the time you get to 2 million with just these numbers. You're 30 years old, have this kind of saved up, can save this. Look at the kind of numbers you can have. We always take into account inflation up here also. These would be the buying powers of these corresponding amounts down here. So the median be 2.624. You'd be just short of a million right there in buying power in 35 years. So if you're in your 30s, get this time frames working for you. Get compounding effect working for you. You have 30 to 35 years, you're going to see amazing numbers. Folks, that's what we do on this channel. We love to run numbers for people. Please consider subscribing. Please share and please like these videos. And thanks so much for watching.